we're going to edit this out anyways. We're just bullshit now.
Oh, okay.
This is our scheduled bullshit. It's like being married. You just schedule to have sex, and this group is scheduled to bullshit.
Don't you also schedule bullshit in marriage? Or those just like just come up randomly?
Well, I know when 7 o'clock comes, I'm probably going to get in a fight. Because that's when she gets home from work.
I don't want to get you started. This isn't a relationship podcast.
Fucking start. Give me one of those beers.
Somebody's gonna get hurt.
It's getting bloody.
Oh my goodness, get the police out here right away.
That guy's got a family to think about.
You're listening to Field of Screams.
So, with that great intro.
Yeah, now I'm depressed. Maybe I'm not so sad about being dumped anymore.
It could be worse.
Yeah,
You
could be married.
Well, that rouses.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
This is I'm Jesse Schobert and Michael Blank, Jason Voschel, and
Ooh.
this is Field of Screams.
Yes, it is.
This is our new, I would say, pilot sports true crime. So athletes are fucking idiots, and they commit a lot of dumb shit, and we're going to talk about that. And conspiracy theories and bombings and all that.
In a humorous way. Because we were kind of, we pretend to be funny.
Well, we just happen to be comedians who have these interests. And I think that's important to disclaimer. We are never going to make fun of the victims of these crimes. Ever. We're going to make fun of the perpetrators mercifully.
But
Some maybe.
Well, not the victims. 'Cause today's topics are lighter.
yes.
No, well, actually, in your topic with the Malice guys,
I'm going to be making some fun.
I wouldn't call them a victim. They're all idiots.
Oh, no, they were active participants.
Yeah. But we
Yeah.
are going to get to more serious topics like Penn State and some serial rapists and murderers that happen to be athletes.
And I will say now, we will not make fun of any of the children who were raped.
Of course not.
Or of anybody who was raped, of anything.
That was said for Michael. He was the only one that would do that. He's a terrible person. We're going to start today with one of my favorite memories of the NBA was the Malice at the Palace, which was a brawl. Is that how you describe it? A brawl?
Yeah, it was, it was chaos, I would say. This was November 19th, 2004, which I guess I was...
We don't need to get into
No one
that.
gives a
like
fuck.
12 years old or something, and I remember watching this because it was on ESPN. And this is the year before they both met in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Pistons won in 6. They already had a feud pretty much going, and this is dealing with juggernauts like Ben Wallace, who is still like dominating blocks and rebounds, and Ron Artest, or I guess the artist formerly known as Ron Artest, now Meta World Peace.
Meta World Peace,
Right.
yeah.
Because, such a peaceful man.
A.k.a. fucking maniac.
Also famous for thanking his psychologist after winning the NBA title.
Now, he also won Defense Player of the Year awards, right?
Yes, he did.
And-
So did Ben Wallace.
Yeah, Ben Wallace won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Because he's holy shit.
Yeah.
But we talked about this. If you had to pick two teams in the NBA at the time for a celebrity death match type thing, it would be these two teams.
Those, yeah.
Yeah,
there was some
badasses
bruisers.
for
Yeah.
sure.
The Pacers were just full of straight fucking
Rashid.
gangsters.
Well, that was pretty much the end of the bad boy years in the NBA. Now it's so soft and
Right.
everything's a flagrant foul. You're
Skinny
getting ejected.
jeans.
This was
Yeah.
Well, this is, and I think that's because of this.
Yeah, because of this.
Because of this.
because of this, the NBA changed completely.
Like, all right. So what happened?
Yeah, what actually happened?
All right, so November 19th, 2004, we had these two teams matching up the first time since last year's Eastern Conference Finals.
Wasn't it like one of the first games of the year, too?
Yes,
Something
it was.
like that.
Yeah,
Like a
because
Sunday
season
night
starts on,
national
Halloween
televised.
usually, so.
Yeah, so this was one of the first games of the year. In the Palace, Auburn Hills, Michigan. Side note, one of the referees of the game, Tim Donaghy,
Everyone's favorite referee.
who eventually had his own crime, which we may eventually
we'll
speak
eventually-
Oh, no,
of.
there's definitely going to. And you're going to be a big part of
Yeah.
that because you're a degenerate gambler.
Yeah, I know the feeling that Tim Donaghy has. He was gambling on some games, point shaving a little bit here and
He didn't get a
there.
chance on this one.
But
you were like,
exactly.
you're just pissed because he's like, God, if you could have let us know.
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you were
If
12 at the time.
If you would have shared it. Oh, I had some action on the
Oh,
game,
sure.
I'm sure.
Still, it's like,
Yeah.
That's what we'll cover later. You're from
I
Miami.
had a couple
This is normal.
Oreos on the game.
Is that Is it like slang for
No,
$1,000?
I think it's like it's
No,
lunch.
I think actual Oreos.
Like it's
were-
lunch. Like, I'll bet my lunch tomorrow versus I'll take the Pistons and the points.
Well, I didn't know with him if he was actually gambling at that point.
So this game wasn't even much of a game, really. The Pacers blew out the Pistons, 97-82 final score, which the game never really ended because...
Which I also think you're probably pissed about.
Yeah, because they were about to
it
cover.
Doesn't technically...
Yeah. In the last minute there, they were going to go on a run and cover for me. So I was pissed. Less than a minute left in the game, 45-second.
That's like a push.
45.9
That's like a push, right?
seconds.
If the game doesn't really end, it's like it was a push.
Well, my bookie didn't think that.
Okay. He's like, no, sorry.
But, 45 seconds left in the game. Fight broke out. This was between, it was Jermaine O'Neal shoved Ben Wallace in the back.
Which is not a good idea.
Which is
Two
not
monsters.
a bag.
Yeah.
And they both got into a little scuffle. All the benches came out. Benches cleared, except for Tayshaun Prince, the only bitch ass who didn't get off the bench.
Yeah.
Wait, Darko Milicic came off the bench?
Every single one of the players and
man.
coaches got off the bench except for Tayshaun.
Hold on a second. Darko got on the court?
That's the only way he could.
For either team, all of them got off and they started scrumming a little bit. Eventually, that was broken up, and Ron Artest went and laid on the announcer's table.
You know, like you normally do.
And the
Because
announcer,
you're tired.
Right.
the announcer at the time, cut the mic off because they knew not to keep an open mic around Ron Artest at the time. Donnie Walsh.
Or
on national
even now.
televised game.
Yeah,
Or
on a
even
nationally
now.
televised game, they cut the mic because they didn't want Ron Artest to say anything. So, Pacers president Donnie Walsh at the time stated that Artest was following advice they had given him on how to calm down because he had some anger issues before this.
No.
Yeah, I mean, even though his name was Meta World Peace, he
Eventually.
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 He eventually became Meta World Peace, but at the time he was kind of a badass. He was doing his Woosaw counting to 10 thing. Some dude chucks a Diet Coke at him. Surprisingly, not a beer. It was
Well,
a
see,
Diet
I
Coke.
always thought it was a beer.
Everyone always
I just
thought it was
assume it's a beer. Fuck
Yeah, everyone assumes it was a beer. It was really a Diet Coke.
Because, yeah, I mean, when you drink Diet Coke, you can get a little crazy. You're a little wired and...
At this point, the refs were prepared to eject a bunch of players, and they thought things would go fine.
Sure.
The Diet Coke gets thrown onto him. He runs into the stands
Naturally.
and ends up... And it was this guy, John Green, who threw the cup. Artest runs into the stands and grabs the wrong person, this guy, Michael Ryan. And
These are the most white names you could find.
and starts walloping Michael Ryan, thinking that he's the one who threw the cup, even though he didn't see anyone throw the cup. He just assumed it was this guy.
He got close, though. You got to give him points for that.
Yeah, he was in the
really
right
close.
row, I think.
Yeah.
Which is
Because
impressive.
he was laying down flat.
I think that's something
And a
like,
cup
isn't
hits
there a horseshoe and hand grenades type thing?
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
time.
The Pacers radio broadcaster tried to get in between the players, and he was immediately trampled, suffering 5 fractured vertebrae and
Jesus
a
Christ.
huge gash to his head. Steven Jackson.
He was like 84, I think, as well. So
Yeah.
that's brittle bones.
Yeah, he immediately got stomped out. Steven Jackson followed Artest into the stands
Naturally.
and immediately punched a fan. Eddie Gill, David Harrison, Reggie Miller, Fred Jones, Jamal Tinsley, Rasheed Wallace, and numerous personnel, including former Bad Boy Pistons radio personnel Rick Mahorn,
God.
Rick Mahorn always wanted to fight.
who was always
He
down
is
for
always
whatever.
down for the
He's
Yeah.
fight.
the original. Like, I will fuck with you.
Went in to retrieve them from the stands.
Retrieve
Little
by
known
punching the fans.
Little known fact that Ben Wallace's brother, David Wallace, threw some punches in the battle.
Isn't that a lawyer?
Punching
Isn't it Wallace and Wallace?
Wallace and Scott Wallace.
Scott
Yeah, good plug there. David punched Artest. Things start getting out of control. Finally, it goes back on
now
the
it's out of
court.
control.
Yeah,
It's out of control.
everything was going fine until then.
I mean, yeah, you go into the stands because that's normal.
Don't you? And then your response?
Down on
I don't
the
really
court,
like people.
True.
down on the court, this guy Charlie Haddad and AJ Shackelford ran onto the court.
Shackleford.
Artest punched Shackelford and Haddad pushed him, and both fans fell over. At this point, Anthony Johnson decided to curb stomp Haddad in the back of the head. And once Haddad got up, the famous punch from Jermaine O'Neal, slide knocking him out, just breaking his jaw pretty much. At this point, Jim Gray, one of the ESPN analysts, and Scott Pollard, as well as Pistons executive Tom Wilson, said
Scott Pollard, was he a player?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was on the Kings for a while. And he was also kind of a weird dude. But they were all... They said at this point they feared for Haddad's life after getting curb stomped and getting sucker punched by Jermaine O'Neal. It was funny because
This is a little racist, though.
Haddad squared up against Jermaine O'Neal like he was gonna... He was confident that he was gonna knock Jermaine
Well, no.
O'Neal out.
In the video of this, if you haven't seen it, obviously, check it out on YouTube. It's everywhere. But he totally comes down onto the court looking like he's, I'm going to beat some ass. And he's like this fat, long-haired guy.
Yeah, he's like the principal from Billy Madison.
Yeah, and he just...
He'll try
And
to
then he's
find
like,
him.
oh.
The Bob.
And then it's like, you can see the moment, and he has a realization where he's like, holy shit, they're a lot bigger than I look from the stands. Jermaine O'Neal's 6'11". I'm 5'8". I should probably stop.
This is where you have to realize, don't feel so bad for Haddad, because he was known to NBA security as someone who wanted to fight an NBA player and receive compensation. So he'd been waiting for this moment
so this
for
was
years.
like his best day.
Yes, this was his
He
best
was so
day.
excited.
He never made $1.
No.
But he had a dream, and he followed through with that dream.
I mean, good for him.
That is ridiculous.
He had his moment. In the
That
sun.
was his, he's like I'm going to slip and fall at the store guy.
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
was
that's
that
his
guy,
version, but this is
but
like a
for
lot
NBA
harder.
games.
It's like
He'd
your
been
dream client.
he was season ticket holder just waiting for this shit to go down.
That guy had to be so annoying.
His attorney was there on retainer.
He probably would talked about it at every game. That's all he fucking
And he's
talked
like,
about.
this is it. This
I was
is
like,
it.
oh man, see, he started it now, so come on.
He was pissed that all the years with Iverson didn't happen one time. All it took was Ron Artest's crazy ass.
At this point, Rick Carlisle, who was the Pacers coach, as well as Larry Brown, who was the Pistons coach at the time.
Or everyone's coach.
He's
Eventually,
many, you know. But Carlisle said he feared for his life. There was a bunch of fans and players' children that were crying, and they said they feared from shock. Some people said they had PTSD from this fight.
It was pretty. I mean, I might have just from watching it.
The kids,
yeah.
for sure. I didn't even thought about
It was
that.
funny
There's
that
kids.
Derek Coleman, who was also a former bad boy, was the one who was protecting the players' children and wives. Just had them all huddled behind him, and he was just
No, I don't think that's what he was doing. He's like going, I got these ladies. And that sounded that offensive voice, but I think that's how he sounds. But yeah, he's like going, oh, you guys fight. I'm a lover. I'm going to bang all your women.
All the women were gone. Never to be seen again.
Pacers assistant Chuck Person said
Another
former-
great player.
Yeah.
Said it was a gladiator situation where the fans were the lions and they were just trying to escape with their lives.
What?
Altogether, 9 spectators injured and 2 taken to the hospital. Once they went back into the locker room, finally, they went back. The Pacers finally went back into the locker room, and they were throwing chairs.
They got, yeah.
And a chair almost hit O'Neal. They were throwing everything they could, all the fans.
Now, there
Everyone
was like
pretty much had to be escorted out, and they didn't have enough security at the time because this never happens.
So let's
And the Pistons were just like, what? What?
Yeah.
Our fans are better than you.
after they just got their ass.
The Pistons are just like on the court, like, whatever.
So, what were the repercussions, not just suspension-wise, but financially? Because if I remember correctly, Artest gets suspended for the year.
Entire year.
Yeah, Artest got suspended for 82 games. Or 86 games.
Because including the playoffs.
73 season and 13 playoffs. He lost $5 million. $4,995,000.
Thank you. I do like specifics.
Steven Jackson got a 30-game suspension, which is $1.7 million. Jermaine O'Neal had 15 games. It was originally set to be...
I don't think he did anything wrong.
Jermaine O'Neal had 15 games. It was originally sent to 25 games, and there was a huge appeal where they were saying that David Stern was basically doing a Goodell thing and was using he was the judge and the jury, so an arbitrator did that, and that kind of changed the rule of the CBA for the rest of the time being.
Oh, okay.
David Stern's also quoted as saying, "Oh shit," while watching the game at home. Jermaine O'Neal lost $4.1 million. Ben Wallace got 6 games.
Wait.
Yeah, he had a huge contract at this
Apparently.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Jermaine O'Neal.
He was bad. I mean, he was bad.
He was
really
He
good.
was all right.
Jermaine O'Neal was really good at the time.
He was a double-double machine. Back
Yeah,
then.
not on the Heat or anything, but he was really good at the time. Ben Wallace lost 6 games and $400K. Anthony Johnson got a 5-game suspension for curb stomping Haddad.
So 5 games for American History X and a guy.
Yes. And he only lost $122,000.
Yeah, but that really hurt him the most because he didn't make that much money.
Right, yeah, exactly. He
That's a
needed
lot.
it. Reggie Miller lost 1 game and $61,000. Chauncey
I didn't even
Billups.
know. Wait, what did Reggie do?
Reggie Miller.
He got off the
He's
bench.
not fighting anybody.
Once you leave the bench, it's an automatic 1-game suspension
Oh,
if they
okay.
want to levy it.
Because
I didn't
Reggie,
even. I didn't think he was on the team at that time.
Oh, yeah, he was really good
It was
at
the
that.
end of his
I mean, it was
Pacers
end.
career.
Yeah, and I think he throw like he shot a basketball at somebody.
Reggie Miller's not fighting anybody.
No.
No, he just did his motion, which is like the hand, the weird like.
Yeah.
It's like slapping somebody,
Reggie
not his
Miller-
normal, not the normal motion.
Reggie's like an all-time member of the Hold Me Back team.
Yeah,
Like he would definitely throw a punch and run, and wait
Yeah.
till the other guy's like stop the fight.
yeah. I mean, he's no Tayshaun Prince pussy, but he's
Or Tayshaun Prince didn't lose any fucking money, so he might be the only.
Tayshaun, the only guy not to get off the bench.
yeah,
He's like, you guys are idiots.
With the longest arms in the NBA history.
yeah, but also the skinniest arms
Yes,
in the NBA history,
yes.
besides Manute Bol
That's
or
true.
Sean Bradley. But
he was. I mean, he just. I'm not fucking with that.
Billups
He's like-
got a game. Derek Coleman got a game. Eldon Campbell, who was still on
Still in the
the
NBA.
Pistons, I guess, at that point, got
Yeah,
a
he
game.
was.
And then David Harrison got nothing.
That just tells you how bad the Pistons bench was. Like they just won a championship, and Eldon Campbell was on their bench.
Bunch of community service for Artest, Harrison, Jackson, O'Neal, and
Imagine the
Johnson.
community service for Ron Artest.
oh man, I just don't. I feel like it's
Anger management therapy for some of them.
No,
That's surprising. It really worked because a few years later, Artest decided to drop that people's elbow on Serge Ibaka for no fucking reason.
A bunch of the fans also got.
well, his name is Serge Ibaka. That's kind of a douche name.
Green, Haddad, and the other guy that was with Haddad all got suspended for life from any Pistons game. They also got probation. Green got 30 days in jail because of the
Wow.
fact that he was a pretty big criminal before that. Counterfeiting,
It's
concealed
just underlying
concealed
Pistons
weapons,
fans.
So Green
felony,
and
felony
Haddad.
assault, and 3 drunk driving convictions.
Oh.
And he was on court-ordered
Wait.
probation at the time.
So he didn't play for the Pistons because this sounds like he would play for the Pistons.
Or at least be middle management.
Classic Detroit.
Jermaine O'Neal also threw usher Melvin Kanedzinski onto the scorer's table when attempting to enter the stands.
Did he jump off a ladder next?
Yeah, it was pretty much chaos.
Why is Jermaine O'Neal not in the WWE right now?
Ben Wallace's brother received probation. He was charged in the assault. And at that point, this also led to the NBA banning alcohol sales after the third quarter and limiting the size limit to 24 fluid ounces and 2 per person.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thanks, Obama.
The only thing missing from this was Jim Ross calling it. Like that.
Though,
God!
though when you watch the things, the announcers are kind of losing their minds.
It
They're like, oh, like somebody is going to get hurt. It does sound like a wrestling thing.
All you need
Yeah.
somebody's theme music to play in is Stone Cold.
And here comes Trump. Who is in the WWE Hall of Fame, as we all know.
O'Neal and Carlisle went back to the locker room where O'Neal called Rick Carlisle a bitch for holding them back. They almost got in a fight there, and then once they heard that the Detroit police was coming to arrest them, they rushed O'Neal and Artest onto the bus and wouldn't let them off. So they got away for the time being.
That's like obstruction of justice, isn't it?
Well, they let them go on because they
just
were
like the
fearing.
scene from Straight Outta Compton.
Pretty much, yes.
I've seen it, but I don't remember the scene.
When they start basically they do the fuck the police thing, they start the riot and
And then run.
yeah, they run
Okay.
get on the bus.
Anyway,
A funny quote from this whole thing is that at the time this is such typical Ron Artest. Artest asked Steven Jackson whether he thought they would be suspended or not for the incident.
No,
And that's where Steven Jackson said, "We will be lucky if we have our fucking jobs on Monday."
that is just a perfect, like, fucking, like a head tilt.
Yeah, just Artest really just doesn't.
Really, Ron?
See, that's when Steven Jackson proved that he could play for the Spurs in future career.
Exactly.
He at least he had some. No one got.
He
cut.
also admitted recently to being high throughout his whole career.
Oh yeah, obviously, but no one got cut. No one just like
No.
this is not worth it. Fuck it. You're
Well, afterward, there was only one player remaining. The next year, pretty much all the players got traded or waived from this whole battle.
Well-
Artest held out, and all the players were mad at Artest. because they all lost
Right.
millions of dollars and
Because he was an
suspensions
idiot, yeah.
to help him, and then he really
But he
didn't
held
have their
out,
back the
and
next
yeah.
year. So
And
he
then
got
he- I
traded.
know he went to
He got
somewhere.
traded to the Sacramento
LA?
Kings for
first,
Peja
okay.
Stojakovic because they were not happy with Artest. Steven Jackson said he felt betrayed and that he did all this for him, and that's what happened. But yeah, pretty much.
I think the going into the stands is the reason he should be betrayed.
Yeah,
I feel betrayed. It's like going,
This,
oh, you're holding out? Like it's a financial situation? Oh, okay. Remember when you beat up those fans?
You have about $4 million more if you would have been an idiot.
And you aren't, and really, I don't know a lot. I know you're Blank's a lawyer, but I don't know much about contract negotiations and leverage. But I think when you've just been suspended for a year and you make no money, you're not really.
I think he thought he had more leverage.
I
than
got
he
him.
did.
I got him over a barrel. It's gonna be fine.
Well, I mean, he also didn't know he was going to be suspended after this, so that's
Well-
Ron Artest for you.
So, to sum, I mean, it changed the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everything
yeah,
after
there's a
changed.
lot more security forever
Yeah.
after that. They didn't have. They tied the chairs down to the floor from that, and they also limited
What chairs? The
No,
ones like for the,
the
bench?
chairs on no, not the bench chairs, the seats that the
Oh, just behind like the front
yeah,
row.
the courtside seats and the
Okay.
front row seats.
I was like, I didn't think those. I think all seats in the stadium are.
Yeah, and the ban on the alcohol and beefed up security.
Which is fine, but if you're a professional drinker, you can just get a lot
Well,
in,
and it wasn't.
Yeah.
in 3/4.
It wasn't long after this that the dress code changed. They were trying to get rid of like the whole relationship with hip hop. You had that Iverson thing
Yeah.
going on. They
Practice.
really tried to separate themselves from that image because it was bad for a while. It wasn't.
Yeah.
This was just not an
And now that
isolated
they've
incident.
now that they've changed the dress code, no NBA players have been in any trouble.
True.
It's been like a long 12, 13 year run of just like nobody's been in trouble.
We talked about it. We were trying to think if it had ever happened again or since or before of a player actually going to the stands to hit a fan. And a couple nights ago, in a game between Washington and Colorado,
Oh yeah, the guy slapped the fan.
bitch slapped two of them.
Wait, Washington and who?
Colorado.
College basketball.
Oh, okay, because I was like, all right, Washington Wizards, and you mean Denver? Okay, yeah, sorry, I was confused.
Walking off after losing, he bitch slaps two fans. So, close.
But he lost, so.
Artest won.
The Pistons were,
That's
yeah,
worse.
the Pacers were winning. Be happy, goddammit.
Basically, the total after all this: 9 players suspended for a total of 146 games, 11 million in salary lost. 5 players were also charged with assault and eventually sentenced to a year of probation and community service. 5 fans also faced criminal charges and were banned for life from attending Pistons games.
And one of the greatest YouTube clips of all time.
Yeah,
It's all time.
it is, yeah. But but can they go, because I don't understand, it's like, I know they can't go into I mean, don't they remember him? Right now they have a picture of Hadid, up there.
He's a hero. I
It's
mean,
like going, just
this guy fought a pacer.
yeah.
He lost.
He lost
really
bad.
lost.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he did it.
Because, it's like going in and it's so stupid. This is like, he got punched in the mouth. I mean, he got a lot of shit happened. Curb stomping, all this stuff. And even because he stepped on the court, there's no way there could be a suit. You're like, you stepped on the court, man.
Yeah, he never made the money that he wanted to
Right.
make, but
It's so-
you give him
so-
an A for
Whose
effort.
goal is that?
That is some great
That's
research.
Adonis'
And I
goal.
love that.
Yeah, that's some deep background you did there.
I love that.
I love that story. It never gets old, which is like our next one. Never gets old.
Right.
So one of our favorite memories, just like the Palace, is
We're going from salacious to sexual.
I thought salacious meant okay.
I don't know what salacious means.
I don't either.
You're a lawyer.
I just use the words.
I feel like that's a word lawyers use all the time.
We just Google. That's all we do.
Us too. The VikingSexBoat,
Yes.
which is not a History Channel reality show.
It would be great, though.
Yes.
Like the actual Vikings from Sweden and such.
Right. Eric the Red is just running the ogre patch,
Just,
which we'll get to that in a little bit. This
Yes,
is
but yeah, that would be they. They smelled so bad back then. The Vikings and shit. Just anyway.
There's a joke there that I'm going to leave on the table. In 2005, in October, on Lake Minnetonka, or as we call Lake Buffalo, Tatonka.
Yeah, Tatonka, something like that. It's a Minnesota buffalo, so it's Minnetonka.
True.
Dances
17.
with Wolves reference. I'm old.
You get a point, I guess. 17 key members of the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings, basically rented these boats and invited a bunch of prostitutes and had a normal Miami
where?
weekend. Florida and Atlanta.
And Atlanta, please.
Right, sorry. We don't want to leave out Atlanta. We want to give them their credit.
No, yeah.
They were flown in order to perform the sex acts, not just to hang out with, obviously.
That would have been a weird flight to be on, wouldn't it? When you got if we was flying
the whole flight.
You got
was
like
just
10
prostitutes.
fucking prostitutes there, and it's like, huh, my kids are here. And
Fred Smoot, who was the ringleader, a cornerback of the Vikings, later estimated there were 100 women present.
And it was 2 boats, right?
Two big-ass boats.
and we don't know if it's houseboats or yacht boats, as Jesse calls them.
I wonder if
That's like such a southern way to say yachts.
I wonder if
It's a
one
yacht
of the boats,
boat, or is it a fishing boat, or is it a yacht boat?
Well, I assumed it's a shrimping boat.
was one of the boats like the A team with like the good players on it, and then like Weldy Moore and them
No.
had like the B team
It was
boat.
offense and defense. Just like how you your meetings. It's offense and defense. Allegedly, there were photographs. I don't know what the dark web is, so I haven't been able to find them. My search history at work is really going to get me in trouble, though.
Yeah.
So a woman calls in. A woman we assume was Rose from Golden Girls. Called him in basically because 7 of the players pissed in her yard. And she called in to the local police station
because there were black people in her neighborhood.
Or in the state in general.
In the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She called the police. The police didn't believe her. Like, no, there's no way you get black people there.
There are black people in that area. They're not.
Once it was confirmed.
They've been told not to.
God damn.
Well, so anyway, there's these big black fellers in my yard, and they're peeing everywhere.
Which is right.
They're melting the snow.
Because in October,
It would be snowing in October in Minnesota.
it's fucking permafrost.
It's basically from August until May.
Yeah, just
snow.
all the time.
Yeah.
And gray.
Then like 3 weeks of nice weather.
So
That's when all the fishing happens.
what the fuck? So the attorney for the charter company comes out, and this is from a court document. He said some of the sexual acts alleged by the witnesses were masturbation, oral sex, anal sex, woman on man woman, man on man, toys, double penetration. I don't like your judgment there.
That's just saying, that's not cool. I mean, it's cool in general, but only for football players. I don't have anything against homosexual. Go ahead.
The cleaning crew reported finding used condoms, KY jelly, handy wipes, wrappers for sex toys, and they said it was just incredible how it was left.
But they didn't find the sex toys? Just the wrappers?
Just the wrappers. They threw those overboard.
Take them?
Well, we found out what Fred
For
Smoot
next
did.
year. The
The next part.
Yeah, this is not the first time this party boat has happened.
This came out. This was not the first time it happened. This was the first one we have record.
First time I got caught.
The other ones were recorded by Brazzers and Bang Bros. So the big thing why this became a scandal was who was involved.
Well, what did the cleaning crew say about?
Oh, I'm sorry. The cleaning crew said never in the history of this group of people have there ever had anything like this. Now I think group means cleaners.
Never in the history of cleaning.
Never
has
in
there
the
ever
history
been
of
anything
cleaning.
like this.
Never.
In the history of Everdom.
Ever.
Everdom.
They come from a long line.
We've heard
of cleaners.
we all know that there's documented evidence. There's a cleaning museum. You go, like these are some of our. I don't even know what that would be.
You can just imagine
It'd be
them
like
getting
clean-
on the boat and
would
being
it be-
so disappointed.
Would it be clean rooms? Is what they'd have in the museum? It's like, man, it's like pristine. Or would they have like dirty ones or before and after pictures?
This is already the most thought I've ever put into cleaning. Like
I know.
it's we're already way over the normal quota.
I'm gonna have to figure that out. But anyway,
Well, you
we'll
focus
update
on
that.
Okay.
We'll update that later.
We'll insert that back in. This became a big deal because who was involved? Dante Culpepper, who was like probably among or not the best quarterback in the league the year before. He was all pro, set the NFL record for touchdowns at the time.
Not so great on the Dolphins, but
That happened after this. But Fred Smoot.
You know why? Because he never Randy fucking Moss. And so he's like going, oh, I can throw it deep. And Randy will figure it out. And Chris Carter. Was Chris Carter involved?
No.
God.
No, Brian McKinney, Nate
Carter's a man of the
Burleson.
Lord.
He cleaned up his act. I know he did a ton of blow back in the day.
Right. He didn't play at Miami, did he?
No.
Okay. Well, I hear cocaine.
He's another honorary member of
Oh, okay.
I was only in Philadelphia they did the coke.
Oh, I just automatically assumed they played for Miami. And so a lot of these guys were big names.
Yes.
And a lot of these guys' careers never recovered. and the Vikings, the team, never recovered from this. But Fred Smoot, who was basically the ringleader, he's the one that got the boats. He's the one that organized everything. And his claim to fame was the way he talked about it and what he actually did on the boat. So apparently Smoot allegedly held a double-headed dildo and inserted into vaginas of 2 women who were lying on the floor in the lounge area. After one woman left, he continued to manipulate the dildo inside the other woman in front of the crew.
I'm just curious why that other person left. It's like, oh, this is kind of rude. It's like one person just getting off a seesaw. It's so ridiculous.
You know, attorney wrote that too.
He left her hanging for sure.
Like, there's no, you know, an attorney wrote that. Manipulating the dildo.
Yes.
So he was fined. He paid a fine of $1,007, which
Perfect.
drives you crazy.
It is. It's because it should be even.
And then he was suspended for a game, $82,352.
Again, I like the specificity.
I did that for you. The guy who actually paid for it was Lance Johnstone. He $1,000 deposit to get these boats. So that's why he's named.
Man, that's not for
You
what
want-
they fucking did to
I
those
know,
boats.
it's the worst.
That I can understand why the cleaning crew is like, really? $1,000 is what we got for a deposit. We have to burn these boats to the ground or to the water, however you would say.
The best story, though, and probably one of my favorite parts of, my life, I guess, comes from Bryant McKinney.
Yeah.
Yes, of course he's from the U. He allegedly picked up a naked woman. It's important to remember she's naked. Placed her on the bar and performed cunnilingus.
Which is oral sex.
Well, yeah, I was going to go to Michael for that because he just assumed that cunnilingus on prostitutes.
I don't mean to say anybody listening to this doesn't know what cunnilingus is, but it's I
didn't.
I know you guys are kind of like law people, and so you're gonna read it in fucking like technical terms.
On her, and he's performing cunnilingus on her in front of the crew and other guests. In a June 2013 Reddit Ask Me Anything forum, Fred Smoot referred to this act as running through the okra patch.
And that's the best term I've ever heard.
I don't know how you guys don't know that term. It's common knowledge.
Now, just running
We're
through the
not
okra
all
patch,
from Miami.
Now, running through the okra patch, is that any oral sex or is that only on prostitutes?
Or is it only on prostitutes with hair down there?
I think it's on anyone.
Have you ever seen an okra patch?
No.
I have not either. I have no clue what it looks like.
I don't know.
I barely
I don't
know.
know if okra grows in patches.
It must. Fred Smoot would know.
He would.
It's the most southern sounding thing, too.
I barely know what fucking okra looks like, okay?
If it's not fried, I can't pick it out of the lineup.
But so, that's the other thing, too, is... I know there's somebody here who has, but who goes down on a prostitute?
By somebody, he means Michael.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
I mean...
I didn't want to get...
Things happen quickly. They do nice things
They
for
escalate.
you. And you want to do nice things for them.
When you were in school in Miami, was this like a class?
Yes.
Okay.
We had Bryant McKinney as our TA.
Running through the okra patch 101.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just, I don't understand it. It's just...
He also
you got a problem, man.
He also He also was seen sitting in deck chairs receiving fellatio.
Oral sex.
Yes, I found that out after I clicked the link. Which also was observed
Which
by the
also
crew.
is going to be in your work history. It's like,
Yeah.
why is Jesse Wikipedia in fellatio? Isn't he married? Oh, so then he needs to know what it is.
Right.
Because he's not. Yeah.
Honest to God, I did this research at a public library.
You were one of those guys
I
at the
was.
library?
Over
Like
my
that's-
shoulder.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, but they were kind of upset that you didn't have your pants on.
I was asked to leave.
I didn't.
With my daughter, who was with me at the time.
Go into the kiddie section.
Right. Her, not me.
Yeah.
Wow. We're talking about going off the rails. He was given $1,000 even fine.
Thank you.
$41,000 game check. And
Who is this, Brian McKinney?
Brian McKinney.
Okay.
So, and then Ziggy Wolf.
Okra.
Ziggy Wolf, everyone's favorite owner, comes out and...
His name is Ziggy.
Which, yeah, not the
And
cartoon.
he said this lack of discipline will no longer be tolerated at any level. The events of the past week are unacceptable. if there was any sense that they would look the other way regarding this type of behavior, I want to make it extremely clear that this behavior will be never tolerated again.
I do think he did a lot of finger pointing in that. That
And-
was a lot of.
A day later?
And a day later, he signed Brian McKinney to a $70 million deal.
7 years, $48 million extension.
Yeah.
A day later.
But not going to be
But
tolerated.
he gave him a stern talking to.
A reprimand for sure.
Yes.
One of the best quotes about this comes from a rookie. And how do you say his name?
Muelde Moore.
And did he go to Miami?
No, he did not.
Ah.
But he was a promising rookie. He was on my fantasy football team at the time.
How do you possibly know that?
I do. He did well. Go look up his stats.
Are you ever not gambling?
No.
Not if you can help it.
That was a stupid question.
And that means that it might be a disease.
He admitted to being on the boat, but claimed that nothing happened. Asked if he saw strippers or sex on this boat, Moore quickly replied, "Sex?
Like he didn't know what it was.
What are you talking about?
Sex!
Is that what? Man, that's crazy. Sex? Come on, look, man, I'm engaged. So
I definitely don't know what sex is.
none of that.
No, well, they've been married maybe, but yeah.
Thing about that put me into trouble.
Now, you know that poor Muelde was on his way home, and he started
And
seeing
he
the
just
links go
got-
up to the sex boat, and he's like, I'm going to be in so much trouble.
He gets home.
And then he kept missed calls from the girlfriend, and he's like, well,
I don't know what happened.
just deny.
If I was like an ostrich, I'd do that too. And when I like going, man, I'm in trouble for something, and I'm gonna get an email or a text, and I called out of work or whatever, and my boss is gonna be pissed, and I'm like, I'm just ostrich head in the sand. I was
Yeah.
like, if I don't fucking look at my phone, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Where do you think he told his fiance he was at? Like a meeting? I was going to.
Well, no, yeah, true, because it's like going, oh no, we got like the offensive. We need to put
A
some.
team morale boosting exercise.
We need to put some
Which is
plays
exactly
in.
what it was.
Yes.
I mean, if my work had team building and things like that, I would go.
I mean,
Yes.
Now, fuck off. I don't want to be around you people.
I automatically assume his ringtone was Shaggy.
I don't even know what that means.
It wasn't me.
Okay, I think I remember that.
Wow.
I'm old.
Yeah, apparently. And so after
Was it
this,
the same guy who was in the Scooby Doo?
no.
Sorry, I just loved the sounds of disapproval that you guys made.
Yeah, you could hear the judgment in our voices. After this, so Dante Culpepper's career went straight the fuck downhill.
Straight to my Miami
He
Dolphins.
moved to Miami.
Who, legendary Miami Dolphins coach Nick Saban, one of the best. Don Shula, Nick Saban, probably in that order.
Yeah. Because there
He-
have only been like 4.
They decided to put all the money on Dante Culpepper because they didn't trust Drew Brees' shoulder at the time.
Good.
And that worked out well for them.
Smart.
The year after that, Nick Saban promised to stay with the Dolphins and immediately went on his plane to Alabama, and the rest is history. I don't know if has he been doing good?
I don't know.
I have not paid
Yeah,
attention.
I-
I've not
I
heard
haven't-
him.
Really?
I
Where
haven't
that guy? It's,
I haven't heard much about Nick Saban, but I
We
assume,
need to do a Where Are They Now?
yeah,
Nick Saban.
yeah. But Culpepper didn't work
And
out.
so what about Breeze? Did he retired shortly after?
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if
Yeah.
Brees did very well after that either. I think it was a good call by the Dolphins.
He was garbage. I'm thinking, where are they now? I'm just assuming that Culpepper went to Miami because of one of the prostitutes that was on the boat.
What do you mean, like he followed her?
Yeah, like he married her. I'm pretty sure.
Ah.
I have no evidence of that at all.
Well, has anyone heard from Muelde Moore since he talked to his girlfriend after this?
What? All right, here's another thing.
He got killed.
Conspiracy theory. Milde Moore was engaged to one of the prostitutes.
It's like a rookie hazing. It's like, all right, you got to bring your girl. You can come, Rook. But
You have to bring your fiance.
That's almost as good as Najee Davenport from the Packers shitting in his girlfriend's closet and then running away because she broke up with him. That's another story for another time.
Wait.
man,
How
I
did
don't
I
feel
not
so
know
good.
Najee Davenport got arrested for taking a shit in his girlfriend's closet.
Okay,
What
how
is
is
that
that
illegal?
illegal?
What is
How
that?
is that
Ex-girlfriend's
illegal?
Closet.
How is that illegal?
I guess trespassing.
Okay,
and she was
okay.
unhappy. She was unhappy that he shit in
Okay,
the...
breaking and
I don't know what
entering.
law... As a lawyer, I don't deal with a lot of shitting in closet
Shitting
scenarios.
closets.
mean,
It's
this was
a
in Wisconsin.
Modus operandi of pooping in the wrong location. Because we've all done that.
That's for another
Yes.
episode. But
We're gonna do a whole episode. on
Najee Davenport
Yeah.
shitgate. It was big.
that. So I think that pretty much wraps up what we wanted to cover
Well,
today.
except, of course, Dante Culpepper had the knee injury, of course, which we are fairly certain.
It happened on the boat?
On the boat.
Well, and
running
then
through the ochre patch.
and
Running
then
through the ochre patch. and
Mike
he-
Tice got fired from this whole thing.
Yeah, well, then the team sucked that year,
And
too.
he was not even on the boat. He got no cunnilingus or fellatio.
Or
Oral sex.
giving or receiving.
He ran through 0 ochre patches and took...
Took, like, all the blame.
I can almost guarantee that I will use that term non-ironically today.
Running through the ochre patch?
Yes. It will be used today in my regular life.
All right. How?
In request of sexual favor from my wife, probably.
Okay, well, that's cheating. That's what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, how
The
else are
actual
you going to
thing.
use
I
it?
don't know.
Like-
Just say it at a gas station.
I haven't been this tired.
Like, I'm
since
getting
I
like
ran
2
through the
Diet
ochre
Cokes.
patch.
I'm sorry, I just really thirsty. I haven't been running through ochre patches all day.
I think that should be a challenge. All of us should use it in conversation. You're going well with your girlfriend's boss tonight, so you could probably use that in
Oh, I'll
conversation.
throw that in. Yeah, I'll throw some ochre patch in.
Wherever you go to eat. Do you have okra?
What were you doing today, Michael? Oh, I was running through the ochre patch with some friends.
Can I get a toothpick? That's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
It is, I know.
So I think that's all we wanted to cover on this first pilot.
Yeah, just to get an idea. I mean, these are just their crimes.
It's going to get a whole lot worse.
Oh, absolutely
Yeah,
horrendous.
these were pretty light topics.
Like,
Yeah.
for instance, there's a guy named Darren Sharper. We
Who
didn't
was
mention him yet.
surprisingly not on the boat.
Not on the boat, but played for them at that time, who was a
Right.
serial, like, professional rapist.
An all-time
Really bad dude.
Hall of Fame
Horrible.
rapist.
He just, but he wasn't on this fucking boat because that wasn't his thing. He's like,
Yeah,
oh,
consensual sex
they're
is
willing?
not for him.
No,
Yeah.
no, oh,
Could you
no.
put him in ice first,
Can you make him say no a lot? That'd be great.
He's like, I don't know why. Is this supposed to be fun for you guys?
don't
Why
know.
are we doing this?
If they say yes, I can't get hard. It's
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Yeah,
And
so Darren Sharper
No,
was not
no
on the
means
boat.
go. Yes means stop.
But yeah, there's that. There's Ray Carruth,
We're gonna get
who,
to
who
yeah.
had his wife or girlfriend murdered when she got pregnant. The bitch. How dare she get pregnant?
I don't think they could tell you were being sarcastic.
I was totally being sarcastic.
Okay, I just with your. I mean,
I know.
I
But yes, no, I was not making fun of the lovely and unfortunate girlfriend who, yeah, got shot.
she got.
She got.
got.
You don't say got. That sounds worse than what I said.
But we're gonna cover Penn
That-
State and a lot of.
Penn State. That's gonna be fun.
Munich.
We're not gonna cry.
Oh, Munich. I may have to sit that one out.
Oh,
As a man of the Jewish faith. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I mean, really, nobody's talking about the Holocaust
yeah,
anymore.
exactly. Get over it.
Just ask the White House.
But yeah, the Atlanta bombings and all that stuff.
Boston
It's just-
Marathon. Stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
There
wanna
are
do-
tons and tons of bad things that have happened related to sports that we're going to talk about and try and
get
make
excited.
goofy and
I think we should do a two-parter for the Shitgate Najee Davenport story.
I'm already working on it. I don't know how to know about this.
I
I'm
didn't
pretty
know about
upset.
I didn't know about the coiling. Did he coil it properly or
God,
is it,
yeah.
what type was it? I mean, I imagine he was probably drunk, so it was just one of those like.
On that note,
We'll talk more about the shit off the podcast. We don't want to.
believe it.
Don't want to ruin it for the future episodes.
All right, so that was us for the first time. You know, we'll get better.
We will, and
Maybe.
you'll get better
We
at listening.
don't put the bar too high.
Yeah, well, all right.
We didn't say how much better.
True. But that's been the first episode of Field of Screams.
Field of Screams.